StarCast is proudly sponsored by DogHouseSystems.com. If you use the code StarCast or Biscuit at checkout, you will get double memory on your next Doghouse system. And also TweakedAudio.com. Go to TweakedAudio.com for high-performance noise-reducing earbuds. Use our code StarCast and get 30% off plus free shipping on your entire order. And finally, SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com. Daily quotes from the StarCraft 2 community. The site may suck, but the quotes are sick. And make sure to go check out their t-shirts in their new store. Once again, that's SC2QuoteOfTheDay.com, and we thank them for their support. Sponsor an episode of StarCast at thestarcast.com.
Hell, it's about damn time for StarCast.
Incoming transmission.
Biscuit.
Greetings and welcome back to episode 176 of StarCast, the StarCraft podcast, the final StarCast for the year 2013, and I guess technically the Christmas special. So it's a good thing. I guess it's why I'm a little tipsy. Greetings, welcome back. I am Garrett Weinzerl, and with me as always is Kyle Ferguson. Kyle, we did it, sir. Another year.
We did it. Happy holidays, Garrett.
Yes, happy holidays indeed. Merry Christmas.
I am wearing my most festive gay sweater, and I mean that in the spirit of the holidays way.
Yeah, okay. I'm wearing a Hot Water Music t-shirt from when I saw Hot Water Music.
To be fair, it is snowing in Chicago, and it is probably not snowing in southern Florida.
Nope. I did have to wear a coat yesterday because it was a whopping 50 some odd degrees in the morning, and then by the time I got to work, it was like 70 something.
Wow, did you roll up your socks for that one? I've got all these old pictures of me in middle school with just the biggest socks ever. And that used to be decent. You'd fold them over, but that's all you needed. Then there was that weird period in high school and into college where socks just got smaller and smaller. And now, like, if you're showing sock, you are a loser.
Oh, I'm not going to get too far into this rabbit hole that I know we both can dive down, which is men's fashion. But fancy socks are in, sir. Argyles and patterns and stripes.
That's true.
They're quite in. Granted, you need a solid pair of shoes and pants to pull it off.
Well, basically dressing like a grandpa and having tattoos, the hipsters have made it popular.
That's a very good point. Thank you, hipsters, for doing something good, I guess.
Thank you for allowing me to walk down a back alley at night here in the city, see a man with tattoos, and think, whatever.
He's not going to rob me. He's just an enthusiast.
Right? Yeah, he's smoking. That used to be a guy with tattoos smoking in an alley. That used to be all mysterious and creepy. Now it's like, there's probably a band through that door there.
Well, honestly, I mean, I feel like that always could have been the case. Like, except it used to be, well, you could have been robbed or it was a band. Now it's just like,
sure.
It's probably a band or someone who wishes he was in a band or has a band, but they're not that good.
Now, I've never been afraid of goths or heavy metal people because you go to one of those concerts, those are the damn nicest people you've ever met.
For the most part, yes. You know what the worst concert goers are? 14-year-old girls.
Oh.
They're the most obnoxious, most violent, most just horrendously awful human beings I've ever had the misfortune of sharing a pit with. And I guess that's what I get for listening to Fall Out Boy and attending their concerts.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you were heading out to the old Clay Aiken or something.
No. It's just my fine love of pop punk and whatever pop punk spawned afterwards, which was bands like Fall Out Boy. Who now are pretty much just pop rock at this point, but I still thoroughly enjoy their music. So that's one of those bands. We try not to talk about music, Kyle, because you don't like music, but that's one of those bands people would say is a guilty pleasure. But I don't feel guilty about it. I don't give a shit. I love Fall Out Boy. Deal with it.
I enjoy music well enough. I just enjoy music that has no words and sounds like epic movie trailers the whole time.
So you've like game soundtracks is basically what you
Pretty
just
much.
described.
Pretty much Lord of the Rings soundtrack. What Audio Machine is it?
I listen to a lot of Blizzard music when I'm doing art, like when I'm doing my graphic design assignments or trying to get back into drawing. For whatever reason, a lot of times music with words tends to distract me. Unless it's something I listen to a bazillion times.
Exactly. So. Yeah, then it can just pass right through. But right. I also have the issue where if I'm typing and words come up, sometimes the words will sneak their way into the typing.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like when we're doing show notes, I can't have like a podcast on or something because it just drives me mad.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to like formulate a thought on whatever story we're talking about, and it's just like, oh crap! Scott Johnson, stop talking, man. I need to get this note done. But yeah, so. I'm trying to remember. How long have we been freaking doing this show now? I don't even know anymore.
3.5 years?
Is it?
This will be 4.
Really? It's only been...
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. That's insane. It feels longer.
It does. Well, I mean, we've been doing this since the beta of StarCraft 2.
Mm-hmm.
And this whole year feels really long. And it is completely beyond my imagining that we got an expansion this year. That seems like it happened 2 years ago. Like, we've been in Heart of the Swarm for a while. I guess because with, Legacy of the Void, which we're hoping for, but Wings of Liberty, there was a huge flux period, even after the beta came out, and bunker changes every week, all sorts of random stuff happening, and it kind of made the game feel in flux, fresher at times, and then with this, yeah, there were some tweaks that happened along the way, but for the most part, it was pretty established.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've had this come up a couple times on the show now. The last couple of weeks where I've been like, didn't it's been like a year since Heart of the Swarm came out, right? And you're like, no, you idiot! It came out this year.
Yeah, it came out in March.
Really, which is a good point because then I think about this time last year, and it was us complaining about how broken Zerg were and how disappointed I was that the finals were ZVZ, and we had Broodlord versus Broodlord.
Right.
We've come a long way. Now I'm sick and tired of seeing Marine Mine Medevac. We have a new Triple M. We have a new MMM, and it drives me nuts.
Yeah, why'd they add another M in there?
Well, technically it's a Widow
W.
Mine, so it should be MWM, but it's easier just to say Marine Mine Medevac. So.
Well, M is just W upside down.
There is that. By the way, I just looked it up. Our first show posted on Sunday, April 11th, 2010.
Well, I always throw us in July, so good on us.
StarCast Episode 1, The Phantom Anus.
Because I talked about the old spire, or the greater spire, just like a big old anus.
Yes, and Star Wars was somewhere in there, so.
Well, it is the holidays. It's a good time to look back. I still have my I forget what they're called. I can't believe I'm forgetting this. The deals you make with yourself on New Year's resolutions. They're still posted in the kitchen, and it's amazing to see them from a year ago. I can't believe the year is pretty much already over. One of the big ones on them was get married this year, so I accomplished that. Accomplished a lot of things on there.
Nice.
So I'm pretty proud of that. But have you done all your Christmas shopping? You all set?
Finished almost all of it just before the show tonight.
Oh, nice.
So if I'm a little frazzled, that's why.
I've got a few gift cards to go out and get, but these are sort of the last minute, like, oh, crap. Everyone else is pretty well taken care of. Took care of the wife, so that's all good now. Beat her to it, too. I got it right under the tree, and she's like, oh, my God, I need to hurry this up. I'm like, yes, did it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. One of Katie's gifts that I ordered online, it was actually the first gift I ordered like a month ago, just shipped today, and I'm petrified it's not going to make it here in time. And I'm going to lose it if it doesn't get here, and I'm going to be so mad at the place I purchased it from. Since I was looking up the first episode, can you guess what the funny title of episode 2 was?
Zergling's Lester? Something like that?
Damn close. It's a Zergling Lester was the title of episode 2.
I can't imagine myself getting that far into a StarCraft show and not talking about the really bad animations that were part of the original StarCraft.
Yeah.
Now, in retrospect, of course.
Yeah,
exactly. Watch them 100 times.
And are you aware that on episode 2, we had a map of the week, and I think that might have been the only week we had a map of the week.
Yeah. I think we found that describing maps in detail to people over the radio wasn't thrilling.
No, it wasn't. Can you guess what the map of the week was for episode 2?
Oh, my goodness. Was it Jungle Basin?
No, Jungle Basin wasn't even out yet. That didn't exist yet.
What'd we have?
It was Blistering Sands.
The one with the rocks in the back of your base?
Yep, the map that I think at the time had the largest main.
Yeah.
I think it had the largest main of all of the 1v1 maps. And it had a front ramp that was just couldn't have been further away from your mineral line.
Right.
And then, yes, it had back rocks that were also just behind the back rocks, a line of bushes that killed line of sight. And it was just enough room to fit one supply depot there to keep an eye on it.
Yep, yeah. And then right off of your natural there, you had the destructible rock, so you could turtle up off 2 bases, which just sounds ridiculous. Can you imagine turtling on 2 bases? Who would do such a thing?
Yeah, there was a pretty small choke leading into the natural, so you could wall off as a Terran or as a Protoss or as a Zerg, just hope nothing happens. But I remember this just being a brutal map for Banshee harass because of all the cliffs with some nice room there to get around with the, it's pretty much.
Yeah. But there was that jungly one where Reapers could jump into your mineral line, and that was gross.
Yeah. Well, and let's not forget Steps of War.
Well, let's never forget that. But we try.
But let's make sure it never comes back either.
We try.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good stuff. Apparently in episode 3, we talked about barbecue sauce and $5 beta keys at GameStop. I don't know why we were talking about barbecue sauce.
I can't forget the other 2 I was pretty on top of, but that one, no, I don't remember talking about barbecue sauce.
Sounds like something you would bring up because I am not a fan of barbecue sauce.
I think barbecue sauce is okay. Some Sweet Baby Ray's, and I got a crock pot.
I think that's exactly the barbecue sauce you were talking about, by the way.
All right.
Good to know that we've been getting off topic since 2010. StarCast, getting off topic since 2010.
It's practically a slogan.
More or less at this point. So, anyways, let's get into to the final newsreel of 2013. Because we got a new situation report this week, and finally, Blizzard decided it was time to jump in on the discussion of the ladder and the current state of it.
Right, and this is a good time to strike. I'm glad Blizzard doesn't seem very gossipy. They give these things some time to settle. They don't jump immediately on every little piece that comes up. But it was about time for this.
Yeah, absolutely. So they, just to jump into this, they said that around the time we released the 2.1 patch, we are changing how league boundaries are determined so that we can more closely match the desired percentage of players in each league. They said thereafter we expect to see a shift in the distribution of players across the leagues to their correct placement within the ladder. Because of the current bottom-heavy distribution, many players may see a league promotion as a result of this change.
Yes.
So this is probably going to make a lot of people happy. Just
certainly.
So, I don't know, Kyle, has your EP been hurt?
It's been hurt.
Been a little bent slightly to the left?
I'm having a good time in silver, but that's nothing I like writing home about, I enjoyed bragging about platinum.
You and I have been having a absolute blast in bronze 2v2.
Well, the story hasn't changed, though, because we still go in every time thinking we're up against diamonds or something.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We get into the game, we create our party, we're looking at matchmaking, we see the bronze, we start making all these jokes, then we hit find match and it matches us up, and then we're sitting there at the loading screen and we forget. We're just like, okay, it's a Terran and a Protoss. All right, what are we going to do for this? Are we going Rush Kyle?
It's the same reason you see things move out of the corner of your eyes. It's better to assume there's a tiger in the bushes than there's not. So the game starts. We've got a good 15 seconds to think to ourselves. And what do we see before us? Terran Protoss against us. And we're like, okay, assumptions start flying through our heads. What's the map? Assumptions begin to pile up. And before we know it, we're playing super serious when we could have just gone like, laying Reaper.
Yep.
Actually, we tried to rush that one time, but I used roaches, so of course I sucked, and it didn't work out. I think we've been doing me as Zerg, you as Terran, but I really think we need to sit down and just do double Z. And you take what you love, and I'll take what I love of the race, and we'll just completely destroy.
Laying Bane, laying Muta, and you hate Mutas, so...
Yeah, I'll do some early roach defense.
You're strongly averse to Muta, apparently. Guys, I can't tell you how many 2v2 games we've been in where, I'm defending and shit, and I'm like, Kyle, where's she? He's like, they're here, buddy, and I just see a bunch of swarm hosts just come up and burrow. I'm like, really?
That's not what
my Marines just got taken out by their air, and you have swarm hosts.
But I do use there are muta games where I use mutas, except the fact that I don't get it quite excited. So I don't think they're memorable in your minds because they're just plain wins, in your opinion. It went the way it was supposed to. Nothing special happened. Nothing extreme happened. And I'm not laughing or really committing it to memory at all.
I guess it's a good point. All right. Whatever. I forgive you. It's Christmas. It's time to forgive and be merry. So
right.
So there you go. So anything else popping out at you from the situation report? Because
one of the things they really address here is all the talk that's been about MMR decay and really saying that it's not the problem here. You need to not play for 2 weeks in order to kick in, and then it slowly builds over time. And at 4 weeks of not playing, it is at its maximum. And if you got back in and played, it's not going to go any more than that 4 week, turn down. And when you play, the most you're going to decay is 3 losses. So what? Maybe 35 points? It's not a big deal.
Okay, so they came in with hard facts and were like, listen, this is how it is.
Blizzard hard facts. The MMR is still in this mysterious voodoo jar.
It's a bunch of precogs, man, sitting in a pool waiting for Tom Cruise to push some buttons for him.
Right, and then you do your placement, and the ball rolls down. They pick it up, and it's got like a diamond on it.
By the way, all that freaking technology, I don't know why they carve shit into wooden balls.
That's what I didn't get. I understand the future, and you can use resources, and maybe you can make matter. I don't know. It's the future. But why would you carve the balls? Have the balls ready, but don't carve and paint them right there. You're wasting time. And then they run out of there like, oh my God, this is happening in 5 minutes. Well, maybe if the ball wasn't being carved and painted on site, we'd be good to go. Get an extra 30 seconds to stop that man with the scissors.
Yep. Also, as someone who has worked in places with, routing machines and automatic carving stuff, clearly that's on a computer somewhere that's making it do that. Why can't you just put it on a screen? Moving on.
It was good drama.
Yeah. But still, I mean, knowing the fact that it at the worst is what equates out to 3 losses after a month of not playing, is basically what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not as bad as the fire and brimstone that was being thrown on the forums would lead you to believe.
Right, and then you've also got a perspective of it. So you're stuck in silver. You haven't played for a month. Maybe you forgot you were in silver because for the past 2 years you've been sitting in gold. You get in play. What pops up? Some dude, and you look at his profile, and all the past seasons he was in diamond, you're going to think something's really wrong, and you're going to blame MMR. So they're saying they're going to shrink the lower tiers, make the bigger tiers a little larger, so that this problem is fixed.
So they're bringing it a little more back in line with how it used to be is drastically different from how it is now, but it's going to be closer to the way it was before.
Right. Diamond and Platinum are going to be closer to the way they were before. I'm still A-okay with Masters and Grandmasters being just as... I mean, Grandmasters has never changed, but Masters being just as small as it is right now. That should be special.
Right. Oh, it sounds good.
It is silly. It's a whole silly system because you can talk about these things and where you belong and what skill you're really at when it's completely artificial. What really matters is your place in line. And some people argue, I just want to know that I'm number 30,000. I'm the 30,000 best at StarCraft. Just give me that Blizzard. I prefer the league system personally, and I want them to fix that because that's a little more rewarding.
Right, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you were to boil it down, and I think I touched on this when we first started talking about this story a few weeks ago, but isn't the most important thing that you're getting matched up with someone who is of similar skill level? As long as that is working, do you really care? I mean, because at some level, the entire thing is artificial, and it truly means nothing. Until you're in, Grandmaster and you're in top 200, I mean.
I think when you get to that point, though, the game lacks rewards for lower tier players. There isn't any currency you earn or a point system that you can go spend for skins or anything else like that.
Oh, right. I'm not talking about game design in general. I'm peeling back the layer and showing you how the sausage is made and telling you that you're not that special. You are not a snowflake. It's a good Fight Club up in this bitch.
Yeah. But that's what there is the battle for leagues. And
right.
If that's off, then no one wants to play.
Right. It is a great system, and it should be in place, and it should be working well, because that incentivizes people to play, and it gives us something fun to talk about and compete with each other. Yes, I totally get that. I mean, I'm saying at the end of the day, I'm just glad the matchmaking system works, because what I don't want to do is log in and play a Grandmaster player.
Right, and that's what needs work, that is happening. So here we go. It's applied right now to the PTR realms. Of course, the pool of players in that server is so small that we're probably not going to actually get an idea of if this new system is going to work out before it goes live.
Gotcha. Okay. And no, did they hint at a date on when this patch would be coming out?
Well, it's patch 2.1, which is the big arcade patch as well. That's when, all that's going to go free to play in there.
Okay. And hopefully Heroes of the Storm beta will be following suit.
I don't know about that. We'll talk about Heroes of the Storm quite a bit today, but it sounded like they were not talking the next half year.
Okay. That's a good point. All right. So WCS, it's been a little quiet the past few weeks now. WCS 2013 is over.
Right, and it should be. We all need a down season.
Right. I mean, there's been plenty of tournaments. We've talked about them over the past few weeks, but
right. But this week there's been nothing. I mean, other than small local tournaments, nothing VOD worthy has really come about.
Right. Right. And this happens every year. I mean, I expect it. Anyways, Blizzard released the details and the dates for the WCS 2014 qualifiers for all the different regions. So it's coming up, and it's coming up very soon. For WCS America, it's actually broken down into what looks like 5 different regions for the qualifiers, and they actually break it down slot for slot. So U.S., Canada, and Latin America are all taking place in the same qualifiers. There's 12 slots up for grabs on that. It's going to be broadcasted by NASL, and that's taking place on January 4th. And that's not even the soonest qualifier happening.
No,
I believe that is actually the one that's happening the soonest is Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Macau. There's 3 slots. It's being broadcasted by TESL, and that's happening on December 23rd, but it runs through January 2nd.
Right.
So that starts up in just 4 days.
They're getting going real fast on this. I was expecting another lull until February or so, but they want to roll. And if we have those in-between season downtimes, it's understandable why we need to get going early.
Yeah. China's got 3 slots. It starts on Christmas, December 25th. Oceania/SEA, 3 slots. It happens on January 11th and runs through the 12th. And then we've got the ladder wild card, which is going to be 3 slots. NASL is also doing that one on January 6th, so 2 days after the U.S. one. U.S./Canada/Latin America. Sorry, other countries. I live here.
Which is pretty awesome that we do have that wild card slot to get some new players in there. And because a lot of these slots are already taken up by people from our previous seasons.
There's even more wild card slots up for grabs in Europe. They have 6 of them.
Yeah.
And that's happening on January 12th.
Which is covering Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. It's huge. But it is funny how we get to GSL, and it doesn't say any country. It just says global. Because
as it should. It is the global StarCraft League.
Right. If you don't, there's no residency requirement, because if you want to compete there, you have to be local anyway. And
if you want to compete there, you have to be a complete sick nerd baller.
Yeah, huge badass. So good on you for going.
Yeah, absolutely.
I doubt we'll see anyone be like, on 12 spots for North America? I'm going to GSL. 36 spots available.
Yeah, that's no. Yeah, I love that too.
Foreign invasion, yes.
Every single one of these, America and Europe is broken down slot by slot, region for region. And then, yeah, like you said, GSL is just like, everyone, 36 slots, good luck.
Yep.
That happens on January 8th, the GSL qualifiers. So I'm getting excited, man. Frickin' GSL is going to be back in full form. No swapping over to OGN. No piggyback stream.
Yep.
No Tasteless having to waste his precious, vocal cords saying piggyback stream.
Yeah, that's what wore him out, man. I'm really looking forward to the finals because we're going to have meaningful finals. There's not going to be a lull period. Let's do the finals over again. And that means a lot to me.
Yeah, absolutely. The season, just the season finals themselves, the regionalized season finals are going to carry so much more weight now, as they should. And honestly, I mean, I personally cared about those more because you and I are big fans of the Korean scene. So for me, I just wanted to see the Korean finals.
Right.
And then it was like, 2 weeks later, I was like, okay. Yeah.
Took away the specialness for those. And man, that's coming up quick. I bet a lot of pro players are going, particularly ones in houses, are going, oh crap, I don't get much of a Christmas because I have to get my 200 ladder wins under my belt.
Oh, geez. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, you got to be at least in Masters League and have 200 wins on the ladder.
Wow. Okay. As far as the map pools are concerned, apparently the qualifier maps will be determined by whoever happens to be organizing it. So, like for us, it's going to be NASL are going to be picking the map pool. Obviously, for the seasons, though, it's going to be whatever is in the map pool for the ladder.
Right.
They said specifically Season 1 will coincide with Season 6 in StarCraft 2. So whatever the Season 6 ladder pool is, ladder map pool is for StarCraft 2, that'll be the map pool for Season 1 of WCS 2014.
Yep.
So that's cool. I didn't know the organizers were picking the map, so that should be interesting. I can't imagine there's going to be a lot of difference between what's on the actual ladder and what they pick.
Well, who knows? We could end up with another. What beach was that?
GSL, yeah, could have the fruit beach freaking map, but
fruit jungle, and then the beach that they had the finals at that one time. Yeah, they might go weird, but who can stop them, really?
That was for the team league, I think, wasn't it?
No, the one with all the lawn chairs and everything, that was in the GSL. That was 1v1.
Okay. I guess that happens. So
can't argue with them, man. Just let them do their thing. They're the pros after all.
So, anyways, yeah, it's coming up soon. If you were worried about not having enough StarCraft to watch, just enjoy Christmas because it's about to freaking rain StarCraft again. Moving on, EG, Let's Go, Oz, Alive, and Revival. Apparently, this came down to they said that their initial recruitment of these players was tied to their participation in Pro League, and since they're not participating in Pro League this next year, they said it didn't make sense for them to keep that many players on their Korean roster. So there is that. 3 really good players.
Yeah, sad to see him leave Pro League as well. And of course, with any move EG makes with letting go of a player, it calls all the other players into question. And they've done a decent job this week defending those that they have kept and saying why they let them go, which is strictly because of Pro League, which they're not going to do this next year.
Yep. Granted, any 3 of these guys could be picked up by a team that is participating.
Sure. Oz, Alive, Revival. We haven't seen the last of them.
No, until next week when we hear one of them has retired and is starting their required military service or is pulled a Violet and gotten a visa to compete and study abroad.
Or a Marine King and moved on to League of Legends.
Please, no.
I know. I only bring it up to break your heart.
Just stop talking. Just stop talking. DRG is still playing, and last we saw was actually doing pretty well.
Yep.
You bastard.
My hopes are running again.
I still get to say that I was sitting next to you when Marine King took DRG to task.
That is irrefutable, but sadly in the past forever.
Everyone teases me on the Angry Chicken. It's become a little bit of a meme on the show. They call it Garrett Rage. Because I went off one time about a hunter deck and how much I think OTK hunters
really? Only once? Because I feel like I get in Hearthstone sometimes. I see you and invite you to challenge, and you disappear. And I happen to play a hunter. I'm wondering if there's a correlation.
On record, I've only raged about it once. Once on Rage. So Garrett Rage is kind of a joke now. So now you confuse me. What the hell was I going to say?
I don't know. I just need to write a letter to your guys' show and thank Jocelyn for keeping things real on that show. With you and Dill's rolling in your big money. You know, some of us have to deal with things like eye for an eye because it's what we got.
I'm going to cut this out and play it on next week's show.
Good. Do it. That lady needs some praise. She's going up against both of you.
But, now I remember. But so if people think that I have some kind of deep-seated rage, you all should have been standing on the escalator, leaving MLG Columbus next to Kyle Ferguson after Marine King Prime just destroyed Dong Ray Gu.
Oh, no, that wasn't rage. That was soul-crushing disappointment.
You were angry. Because I was just beaming and just like, I'm so excited my guy won. And you're just like, Zerg's just swarm raced my dick.
Oh, well, okay, yes. Now you put me back in that place, and I'm feeling it again.
You're so mad about the
Marines
conga
are
line.
swarming. Just I can't keep myself together. It's just it's so maddening.
Right, exactly. So what I'm trying to say is all podcasters have their moments.
Yeah, we all get mad about certain things.
We get kind of ticked. So listen to some old episodes during the SOPA debacle. You'll hear all of us angry.
Yeah.
Jeez. Anyways, you wanted to talk about This Year in Balance, which is a post made on the StarCraft Reddit this past week, which is boggling to look at all of the balance changes.
Yeah, a lot of these are just because we had the expansion, of course, you know, new units coming in changes a lot of things. This was taken from a Team Liquid post and made into a Google Docs. So it'll be in the show notes there so you can access it. But just all the different things that have changed over the year. And some of these you look at still thinking with your Wings of Liberty mindset and go, whoa. Unresearched hallucinations, unresearched siege tanks. Like, what a world we live in right now.
Yeah. Or things like carrier. Interceptors can now change targets when they are in leash range. Or battlecruiser. Yamato cannon energy cost decreased from 125 to 100. And you think, wow, there are changes that have been made that have literally changed nothing.
Yep, that is the lowest form of encouragement I think I've ever seen. Yeah, everyone loves Yamato. That's not getting enough. That's the problem with the battlecruiser, right? The carrier change is actually kind of a big deal. That makes them a little more in line with the way you could use them in Brood War, but still, it's not enough. Probably because the easy access of anti-air in this game right now. I don't know. We did, you played Zerg and I played Protoss the other night, and I stupidly went carriers because we were ahead, and we, of course, immediately died and fell behind.
We lost that game, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Actually, I remember distinctly losing that game because right afterwards, the first words out of your mouth was, I'm not going to be so fancy next game.
Yep.
Damn fancy Kyle had to ruin Christmas for me.
Well, you know, you think you're going to go grab some oracles, and then you're already halfway there. You think, this is the game. I'm going to do it. I'm going to turn this core into a mothership, and we're going to ride out with invisible... Never mind.
You know, I was going to ask you what change you found the most surprising or that you liked the most. And I'm desperately trying to find something in here because you already stole mine, which was siege tanks no longer needing to research siege mode.
Sure.
But did you have any in here besides that kind of blew your mind when they happened, or you're still kind of surprised it's stuck?
I am this isn't my favorite by any means, but I am amazed at how we've all adapted to the Infestor with the projectile, with the speed of the projectile, losing that bonus damage against armored units. And yet we still see some pretty decent sized groups of them, and I rarely miss with that. It's pretty easy to use, the projectile.
Yeah. You know, we're talking about how sick I am of, you know, as much as I love Terran and I love watching Terran games, how kind of bored I am with the current state of Terran. I still to this date don't understand why we don't see more Infestor play against that type of play. I feel like Fungal would help a lot against Marine, Widowmine, Medevac.
When the train's going, it's just hard to keep up.
I guess that's a good point.
And they're usually in those lines that aren't ideal for fungling in the first place. And then I don't know about people out there. I just have a hard time managing multiple infestors spread over an area. So having an infestor like in the back of my base to grab medevacs that are dropping and in the front of my base to stop the train that's coming, it gets a little hard when you can't just bunch them all together.
Yeah.
Kind of chain them off using the same button. So I would have to say my favorite is probably the Spore Crawler, actually.
Really?
Well, no. I really do like that, and I love that you don't need the evolution chamber, because that was kind of odd. And oh no, here comes air. Let's get a useless building, quick. Now I can defend myself. And of course, being able to hold your own at least long enough until you can get some anti-air against early mutas is always nice. But let's face it, let's go with my fan favorite here. The Ultralisk got a huge buff, taking its flat damage up instead of doing that bonus against armored units, which is just dumb. Because anything that's armored probably does bonus damage against armored. And you don't want to be using an Ultralisk against siege tanks or stalkers or marauders. It just, every single thing that's armored probably shouldn't have an Ultralisk chasing it. So that was definitely my favorite change. Flat damage for the Ultralisk.
Cool. Gotcha there. It sounds good, man. Yeah, but mine's still the siege tank. Although I gotta say, I'm glad that the combined upgrade for the armor on the armory for Terran finally A, happened, and B, is still in the game.
Yeah, dreams were made that day by David Kim, finally getting it in there.
It's like that sketch in the SNL room when the writers, all the comedians are there. That sketch that one dude just keeps putting out and everyone keeps shooting down. And the one day, Matt Gruber is born.
Right, finally squeezes in the one joke and it finally works. That's like apparently in Indiana Jones, that joke where the dude with the Nazi with the hat shows up and pulls out the nunchucks, but then folds them into a coat rack. Mm-hmm. Apparently, that's a joke that Steven Spielberg loved so much, and he came up with it like 15 years ahead of time and tried to implant it into every single movie, and it just kept not working.
That's great, because that's such an iconic scene.
It is. It's a great scene. For Protoss, it is amazing that the Void Ray change stayed for one, because it's a weird change if you think about the way they used to work. Mm-hmm. Charging up, hitting a single target, and then running in. But the prismatic beam where you can turn it off and on. It's also interesting how that led to mass Void Ray again. Now we're smarter. We've had the game for a while. We know how to deal with it. But we see a lot more mass Void Ray than we used to.
Yeah, and actually looking back on it, don't you feel like the way it used to work was actually, it's insane that was ever actually the way it worked? Where as long as you just kept hitting something, the charge never went away.
Right, so you get if you're in someone's base, you have things to always hit. And there's no reason it'll ever turn off.
Yeah, until you die. Yeah, crazy stuff, man. It's like you said, it's nuts to think about that we had an expansion this year. It seems like we've had over a year of changes since Heart of the Swarm launch, but it hasn't been that long.
No.
So, anyways, moving into slightly less StarCraft related discussion.
Hey, still completely StarCraft related here, because this is a game that is coming out in our client. This is our territory. We need to defend it, Garrett. StarCast owns Heroes of the Storm.
This is the custom map I'm actually excited to play.
That too.
It's a little more than your standard custom map, though.
A little bit. When you hear about devs playing it for 3 years in their office, it's a little fancier than, I don't know, Left to Die.
Which I enjoyed. That was fun.
Yeah, Bejeweled, but whatever it was.
Yeah.
That lasted a day.
But yeah, we are, of course, talking about Blizzard Dota. I'm sorry. No.
What was it right before that? I forgot. Heroes is actually kind of taken on.
Blizzard All-Stars.
That's Blizzard All-Stars.
But no, we're not talking about Blizzard All-Stars either. We're talking about Heroes of the Storm.
God, speaking of All-Stars games, did you see they put the Wii Fit girl into the new Super Smash Bros?
Yeah, but that was old news.
That's really random.
The new thing is what's-her-face from Galaxies.
Yeah, she was the not Princess Peach with a star.
Yeah. I love those little freaking star dudes. They're adorable.
Yeah, they are pretty cute.
Yeah. But anyways, we're here to talk about Heroes of the Storm, not to be confused with HOTS.
No. Let's not confuse that. to be fair, we've heard there's going to be a better cycle before we get Legacy of the Void. So maybe they're... Oh, gross. Can you imagine? Maybe they're not even thinking of putting it out to Legacy of the Void, so there's no longer any confusion. We held off, guys, for you.
I don't think it's gonna. I think this game's gonna come out when it's ready to come out, as opposed to, so we don't have name confusion.
They had a developer Q&A this past week, and they seemed very excited to get it to us and get it into a beta form.
Right, exactly. And if you're trying to come up with an abbreviation for it, you just use Heroes, because that's what everyone inside Blizzard is apparently calling it for short. So there is that. So yeah, they had this big Q&A this past week, which I tuned into for most of it, and I was already excited for this game, and now I'm just like, God damn it, just make this game playable.
Just give it to me already. Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
We played it at BlizzCon. I'm shocked. I'm glad they're humble. Let me say that first. But it's always shocking when they're like, well, we're designing a game for 4 years and we just didn't think anyone was going to like it. So why were you designing it? And why do you love it internally? Like, what in your minds didn't connect? People love MOBAs. And yet you were like, we just didn't expect people to line up to play it. Well, what? They do a huge esports-esque Hearthstone invitational, have chairs laid out everywhere so people can watch it, and then they're like, we just didn't expect anyone would sit down to watch it.
Well, hold on a second. It didn't have its own stage. It was like stealing the Warcraft stage for that one event.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, the Hearthstone tournament, the first half of it was happening on a tiny little stage that I walked past 20 goddamn times before I figured out the Hearthstone tournament was there.
Well, it's comforting because we're both artists that create things in our own ways, and artists, actually, probably everyone on Earth, but certainly artists, I can say, have the lowest opinion of their own work.
Yeah, this is something that's come up on the Angry Chicken, where we talk about Hearthstone, and how there's a lack of a spectator client, and how there seems to be all these really obvious features that are just not in the game. And we're constantly asking ourselves or asking Blizzard vicariously through the show, like, why isn't this in here? What was going through your head thinking we don't need a spectator client? I mean, and we've had this discussion multiple times now where we're just like, you're Blizzard, everything you do is gonna be huge. You should know that. And when I was at BlizzCon, I ran into Eric Dodds, the dude in charge of Hearthstone, and I said this to him, and I was like, we see it as a little silly. It's a little silly when you guys say, well, we weren't aware of how big it was going to be, and he had a good reply. He said, well, if we design games thinking that they're going to be awesome, they wouldn't be. Yeah.
No, I'm glad they certainly put in the time. It is interesting to see the sort of parallels being made here with Heroes of the Storm against StarCraft, because we've got a game that is being designed by almost the same team, yet StarCraft from the get-go was made to be watchable. And the amount of impact that must have had on the actual gameplay is pretty immense when you hear them talk about Heroes of the Storm, where everything is about fun and simplicity.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Which isn't to say it's not also watchable. Since it's built in StarCraft, I think it has Observer right from the get-go, doesn't it?
They kept talking like they had to build it.
Oh, okay. Because we were seeing replays that, although maybe they were pre-recorded, they were probably, I don't know. We were seeing replays at BlizzCon. They showed us a game, but
right, and they said actually that in the next couple of weeks here, they're going to put out another one of those, which was the developers playing, one late night there in the office. Mm-hmm. But we don't know what kind of tech they're using. They're saying that this is not an esports ready game, and at the moment isn't intended to be. We want people to make it an esport for us instead of assuming it's going to be. So without Brood War and its esport, StarCraft 2 would have never had all that stuff ready to go on launch or soon after launch.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hope replays and an observer mode is in it from the get-go, because it's a nightmare to make content for Hearthstone. It's an absolute goddamn nightmare. But hey, that's me, a very personal problem, I guess.
Yeah, a lot of people out there aren't really too concerned about it, other than the fact that I would like to, some of the stats I would love. I'd love to look at old arena decks and other sorts of things like that.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff would be just absolutely wonderful. And it's there's going to be a lot of comparison between Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm, because I think that it's an apt comparison. Just in terms of how simplified it seems on its face compared to its obvious, competitors. I mean, you look at Magic the Gathering and you look at Hearthstone and you go, it's a baby's toy. Look at this. Look how cute it is. I don't have to have land. I get a perfect mana curve. What is this? But then you get into it and you're just like, oh, holy shit. Oh my God, I need to strategize. And what's the meta right now? Well, everyone's playing mages. I need to make something that counters a mage, but what counters a mage? And I think Heroes of the Storm is the same way. If you look at Heroes of the Storm and you look at Dota 2, well, I think it's slightly different. I have a very, very, very positive opinion of Magic the Gathering, and I think everything they do is like gold. I love Dota 2, but I think a lot of the stuff in it is bred out of awful, awful design.
It's, Dota is a lot like traditions. And at one point you turn around and you go, why are we still doing this?
Why do I say bless you when you sneeze?
Exactly. That's one of them. Like, the devil is not invading you. I'm sorry. You're fine.
Why is there a tree in my living room with glowy shit hanging on it right now?
We're just surrounded by weird ones at Christmas. I mean, come on. Mistletoe, like, who even knows what that's about anymore? And then watching really bad movies. Like, what's the one with the kid and the tongue and the lamp foot?
Kid and the tongue?
Christmas Story.
Oh, and the lamp foot. Okay, lamp leg.
Yes.
Would have been slightly more descriptive. And
either way,
you'll shoot your eye out or BB gun.
I can't stay awake through. But these bad movies have become traditions.
True. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I digress. But, we played Heroes of the Storm at BlizzCon, and it definitely seems like it's going to have some depth. And there were only 8 playable characters at the time, or it was a small amount. Clearly, there's going to be a lot more added.
Oh, clearly. This thing is immense. Like, you go to the Heroes of the Storm website right now, and you see just tiles and tiles of heroes, and they're serious about that. That's not just for show. They are putting that much in.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you've been playing Dota since it was a Warcraft 3 mod. As, a long-term fan of MOBAs, before I think anyone even knew what the hell to call them. I mean, how do you react to a lot of the changes in Heroes of the Storm? Because at first I see stuff like this, I'm like, oh, they're simplifying it. But then I actually think about it. Like, for example, they had this emphasis on, like, they want these games to be shorter in comparison to most MOBA games. They're aiming for a 20-minute mark. Now, some people might go, what the best Dota games are like 75 minutes. But when I actually stopped for a second, I thought about this. I'm just like, you know what? There are almost every night I think to myself, I really want to play a Dota game. And then I'm like, shit, I don't have an hour.
Yeah.
I don't have an hour to lose. Like, I just can't do that. So I'm actually excited as hell about having a well-developed MOBA that's aimed for shorter games.
Right. And the fact that if that 1 hour goes poorly, it's time for bed. Instead of maybe getting 3 games in that time. How many
times have you and I done that? We're just like, we're like, let's play a Dota game. All right, man. We get in, and we just get our ass stomped. But we get our ass stamped slowly for 60 minutes.
Exactly. It's like, get in here, you shoppers. End this thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no fun at all.
But coming from Dota, it is scary. Because there's a lot that's different. I love the core values they're doing, which is it's going to be easy and it's going to be about fun. There is so much in Dota that is unspoken rules. And again, like tradition, like, oh no, you're not supposed to move that way. See, if you stand by the creeps like that, you instantly tell everyone that you're a nub and to start owning you. It's like, but I'm not doing anything wrong. Like, I'm just killing, well, you're auto-attacking. That's your issue. And clearly that's saying to everyone in the map that you're a nub and you need to die.
Well, you're just pushing their creep wave back, which helps them. And in what universe is there shit I'm supposed to kill where I'm not supposed to kill it?
That's one of the weirdest things that is absolutely 100% true about Dota is, sweet, it's minute 4. I'm attacking the tower. Like, I've pushed them up close. And it's like, no, don't you ever do that. Because you're giving out free XP. It's like, what? But I thought I'm winning. I'm doing damage to their tower, right? So I'm really excited about all the shared XP. Super excited about characters like Abathur, who can be not based on killing at all, just straight up support. Can't even like make his own XP, basically. But can hold this really unique position in a game where all XP is shared and there is no gold to get.
He can definitely kill just through others.
Yeah, well, he helps people out.
I was about to say, I've played this game once. I didn't even see Abathur used, but just from the videos, I think Abathur needs a nerf. I'm just saying, Blizzard, it's clearly overpowered. What are you doing?
Yes, he does seem pretty overpowered.
Start the flame threads now about a game you can't even actually play.
With buffing anyone from where you're standing and instantly teleporting anywhere. Yeah, it seems a little strong.
Little on the weird side.
But what really frightens me about this, because I support those other ideas, and I'm a Blizzard fanboy. I'll enjoy getting to play any character and dressing them up how I want after spending the in-game currency, or what I'm assuming is going to be an in-game shop to get some of those outfits.
Yeah, I think the only video game universe that I love, where the characters are things that are like more dear to my heart than Blizzard, is maybe Zelda. Maybe. But like, yeah, I'm a total freaking fanboy of all of Blizzard's heroes.
I just want Kel'Thuzad, man. There's a lot of characters actually and they're the side ones because I need to be a little hipster about it. But I'm just getting really excited about this thing.
Yeah, well, my favorite's already in there, Arthas.
Right? Well, like on this wall of panels here, they got like Deckard Cain. Like, can you imagine like rolling the battle, Deckard Cain? Let's go.
He's just chucking books at people.
Yeah, well, he's probably one of the crazy supports, I bet. Probably not a frontline sort of assassin class as they talk about. Or
what
warrior.
Are you talking about, man? He's so hunched over, all he needs to do is hide in a bush.
Right? Stealth class, Deckard Cain.
Stay a while and die.
But it's really the maps that scare me about this game. Now, I'm coming from Dota, where we have one map, and we dress it up real pretty for the holidays. And that's it.
Yeah, this is the thing I'm not sure I don't think we talked about it on this show. We talked about it on the Move Radio. When we left BlizzCon, that was kind of my concern. I was like, I kind of just want to see a standard goddamn map. Why do we have to have all these maps with some type of gimmick or objective on it? I just want to see a standard MOBA map.
Well, it's because it gets a little silly real fast. If there's shared XP for everyone and there's no gold to get, well, why don't we all just pile in the middle and try to win this thing together? Never have any objectives to it.
I guess that is a really good point.
And there's no small victories either. There's either whole team wipes, you sniped a guy off, so you're going to push a little farther. I mean, there's a lot of little things, like even Roshan in Dota, where you go down into a pit and fight a little mini boss, while the rest of the team kind of defends the guy who's doing it, and it's kind of this interesting little side objective. Those things add a lot to the game. And without the subtleties of, last hit and jungling by yourself to make another lane available, all these sort of things that go into Dota, the game needs something more. My main concern is there is more than one version of this. And ultimately, there's going to be a map that is the best. And everyone loves more. Or heroes that are better for certain maps. And then you start getting into the same sort of problems that we have in the other MOBAs. Because there's an underlying code of what you should use on a certain map all of a sudden. And the toxicity raises once again.
To a point, I don't know. I mean, the way it's in Blizzard's hands. And if there's one thing Blizzard doesn't seem to like, with the exception of Marine, Widowmine, Medevac, is things getting stale or things getting complacent. And they have shown, with certain exceptions, like the one I just mentioned, that they're willing to change the balance of a game to incite changes in play.
Right, and this also doesn't sound like anything that's going to be permanent. These maps could be in flux. They could be... I'm thinking they're probably going to take a card from Hearthstone, pun, and
oh, you.
and do daily quests. So maybe you choose a certain map that you don't normally play, or just to kind of get people cycling through the different ones.
Yeah. I'm just freaking stoked for this game. But yeah, Matt, I didn't even think about the fact that since you don't have gold, you don't buy items, you don't have individual XP, that you kind of need the objective to break the team up.
Yeah, or
That's a really good point.
Or if everyone, because if everyone's getting XP everywhere. Now, they did talk about one thing that was kind of interesting. So if you have a 3-laned map, which is the usual MOBA kind of style, XP is being shared everywhere as long as people are in a lane. So if all 5 on 5 load up into the top lane, those creeps killing each other in the middle, those towers killing creeps in the bottom, no XP is coming from that. Someone has to be in the area where the XP is being made, and then it is shared across the map.
Okay. All right, so you're also incentivized to break up there just so you're getting the most amount of XP.
Yeah, so in the early game, we are kind of seeing some encouragement for splitting up. It's not going to be the complete cluster that I'm worried about. I can't talk to you because you don't play the custom map, but there are arenas or hero battle arenas where everyone just picks a character, and sometimes they're Pokemon themed or Bleach themed or whatever the custom map is, and you just wail on each other, and it's fun for about 5 minutes.
Gotcha. All right.
In this talk, I really appreciated how much they talked about toxicity, though, and making sure that the game can avoid this by having the shorter game time. So, if someone's really pissing you off or playing horribly, you're only stuck with them for 20 minutes. Not too bad.
Yeah. No, chat room, we are saying as long as you were in proximity. That's what we're saying. So you're more inclined to split up so that you're getting more experience as opposed to missing out on some from a creep fight in the bottom lane.
Right, but as for right now, it doesn't sound like it's going to work in a WoW or Dota system where the more heroes you have in one area, the less XP is going to be shared.
Oh, okay.
See what I mean?
Gotcha.
So 5 heroes kill a single guy. There's really no difference than if one hero kills that guy by himself. XP goes to everyone all the same.
Okay. But it would still have potential for more XP per minute, having 2 top, 2 bottom, 1 middle, just so you get more creeps.
Because of those creeps, yeah. And they're
Right.
saying you're going to get XP from tower kills, mercenary camps, destroying walls and buildings in the player's base. So there's a lot of incentive to keep going after those things.
Sounds like if you can kill it, it grants XP.
Exactly.
Yeah, back to your point about toxicity. I don't think you can have a discussion about MOBAs without discussing the toxic environment it tends to breed.
Yeah.
Which is sad because you've been ripping on Dota a little bit. I really enjoy Dota a lot. It's a ton of fun, especially with friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely there. I mean, I avoided it for so long because of that fact. I got into one game. Was just cussed to hell and back because I didn't know what I was doing. And then I didn't touch it for like another year until you were just like, Garrett, just get in this party with me. We're going to go in. I'm going to tell you what the hell to do.
Right. But like I've said, so much of it is about the persona, the way you move, the dance you do. Right. And that tells everyone in the area that you know what you're doing. So in this game, everyone just kind of, it sounds relaxing. Everyone just kind of moving across the map. Hey, some creeps show up. I'll kill them. Why not? It sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, indeed. So no confirmation yet, if we're going to be able to have all of the same modification that we currently enjoy with StarCraft by being able to import custom models, make custom maps. But they said that since this is built on StarCraft, that is a possibility, that it's just not necessarily going to be available at launch.
They're saying that they really want to give people the ability to make their own maps. Mm-hmm. As for outfits and other sorts of things like that, I definitely wouldn't expect anything like that at launch.
See, that's one of the things that, again, personal problems. I'm an artist. This is one of the things that excites me the most about Dota 2 is the fact that there's this whole subculture of people who just make crap for the game. And that is awesome. Yeah. And I would love that for a Blizzard game. hey, maybe this is a reason to actually get the store, like the proper map store, up and running. You know that thing you talked about before StarCraft even came out?
Well, they talked about in this interview about the in-game currency that you're going to earn from playing the games. And the way Dustin Browder said it seemed to me like there was going to be microtransactions available in the game if you want to skip ahead and not gather gold for all the fun outfits. But these outfits right now are 100% designed by Blizzard, and it seems like there's going to be a lot of them.
Yeah, there's already 1 or 2 per character of the heroes available at BlizzCon, and they were awesome.
And the ones they're showing off right now, there's 3. I mean, take Abathur, for example. We have normal-ass Paladin Abathur. We have your favorite Paladin set of all time.
Yep. Redemption.
We have Medic Abathur, who's dressed up like a medic. And then we have Lumberjack Abathur.
Yeah, I love the StarCraft one. The Lumberjack one is absurd.
That one, it freaks me out a little bit because I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, sure. Arthas, whatever. Let's make, pre-Lich King Arthas. Let's make Lich King Arthas. Lumberjack Arthas? I don't know if I picked that skin, but I guess I have the choice, don't I?
Yeah. Sorry, it's the Judgment set, not Redemption. What am I thinking of? Redemption was ugly.
I couldn't help you out.
Well, you seem like such a Paladin player, Kyle.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
You're all about, by the
Bubble
light
heart.
and justice demands retribution and bubble
and
hearting.
well met.
Well met. But both Abathur and Arthas is. I'm curious, like because Arthas only had his Lich King mode and then his pre-corruption mode. I'm curious, like what weird shit they're gonna do for Arthas.
Well, they did let slip that one of the dances Arthas is going to be able to do in a slash dance is a waltz.
That is awesome. I heard that, and I fist pumped a little. Just a little bit. I was just like, yes. Such an Arthas fanboy. But, yeah, I mean, who'd you play as? Tassadar? And he was like Gundam Tassadar?
Yep, pretty much.
It like this mech, all mech. It seriously looked like it came straight out of Gundam.
Yeah, it was Mecha Tassadar, very much along the lines of Mecha Godzilla in that regard. Have you seen the portraits you're gonna get for the collector's edition? What's it called? Death
Reaper of Souls.
Yes, Reaper of Souls.
No,
it's the main characters done as Crusaders. So you have Raynor, Crusader. Marine thing, but still a Crusader. You have Kerrigan, but she's a Crusader. You have
really?
A Protoss, but it's really a Crusader in Protossy looking armor.
I'm trying to find this right now. That's
because we got the release date today for that of March 25th.
Oh, that is amazing. I'm looking at it right now. Oh, that is awesome.
Pretty fast.
Freaking Kerrigan looks badass. She bleached her dreadlocks.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. I guess I'm buying another collector's edition. I must have these. Yeah, sorry, when is that? March 25th, I believe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yep, that's when we're going to get Reaper of Souls, and I am so excited because I still play that game once a weekend.
I see you in there. I haven't touched it. I don't know why.
It's fun, but you do, it's kind of like Minecraft right now. You kind of need to come up with your own objectives.
Except it doesn't have nearly as much freedom as Minecraft.
Yeah, exactly. So you do the story, you enjoy that, and then you take a month off, and then you go, okay, I could tolerate Act 1 again. And then you get to, the parts that you don't get to spend much time in, like Zoltan Cools later, and you're like, all right, I'm digging this. Then you get to Hell where everyone's being tortured, and you're like, I remember this place too well. So I'm really looking forward to that, free roaming sort of system. One of the things they did talk about, too, which is a lot different than what we played at BlizzCon, is right now, they're working towards having everyone have unique talents, which is really cool because they were kind of weird and generic in the mode we played at BlizzCon.
It didn't help that I didn't know where they were until I had 15 freaking points to spend.
Yeah, we didn't know that was going to happen. They plump you down in a chair and say, brand new game, go! That's naturally going to be an issue, but as of right now, they are looking at having everyone be unique. This means the weird heroes like Abathur can benefit from odd talents so that you can design them a different way. And as of right now, to go in in a Dota sense, your level 6 skill, your ultimate, is unlocked at 10.
Yeah.
So a lot of the early game right now is a race to 10. See if you can succeed and win just using your ult. And then if that doesn't work out for your team, if they turtle up too hard in their main base or something, that's when, while they're turtling, you try to go out and get that extra objective.
Oh, that's cool. That's another thing I don't think we mentioned is how awesome it is that you have 3 of your 4 abilities right from the get-go, as opposed to the traditional MOBA stance where you put the 1 point in the 1 out of 4 possible moves and you can't even get your ultimate at the beginning.
And you need that in a system where you don't have items. You have 1 ability at the start of a MOBA, and that's it, unless you get yourself a healing potion and a mana potion.
And even then, those aren't exciting abilities. You can't affect the game other than heal yourself with that.
Right.
Yeah, and again, and if they're aiming for 20 minutes, you need to put this kind of stuff in there, and also makes it way less boring in the beginning of the game.
They've also said that for the release, they are going to have a system to reconnect disconnected players. That sounds like a tall order for Blizzard, but I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, they're gonna need it, man. Can't have a guy just DC in a MOBA and just peace out, see ya, sorry. It's no good. You can't do that in team games, can you?
No.
Yeah, you've got
even the ones. I mean, even the things that happen in the big tournaments. I mean, those aren't a reconnection to the game. Those are loading that replay and then playing from replay.
Yep. Ben and I were playing 2v2s the other day, and he DC'd after a really awesome defense of a push that happened. He disconnects and he goes, well, I guess I don't think they're going to let us resume from a replay, Garrett.
So, damn it. Message them. Hey, can you guys message me, and we'll get in a private room here, and we'll finish this up?
You get the win. I just want to see if we could have won.
Right. Yeah, everyone loves that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you see what I had in my hand here, and I had 1 more mana, I would have been good.
That's not exactly the same. That'd be like if I get hit in the head by a hammer while I'm playing a game of Magic with you and I fall out unconscious. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm so excited for Heroes of the Storm. It sounds like the beta is on the not the distant, the closer horizon.
The closer horizon, yeah. I'd put it out about 6 months, and I think that might be a little lenient. But I want to get my hands on this most certainly.
Yeah, the sooner the better.
And like I said, I'm not completely skipping through the tulips with this thing. I am scared for it. I love the changes. I want people to love MOBAs as much as I do. But these maps, they frighten me. Yeah. And even now, they just did a patch to World of Warcraft where they had to add a percentage to things being different because 14 happened to be the perfect number where you didn't get the chance of the boss doing this harder ability than he does at 15 with a flex raid. So naturally, people are going to figure out what's the best map to farm the currency or even play on in the first place.
Right. Well, if they're mixing maps up quick enough, too, you never know. It might not happen. But
sure.
If it happens at Blizzard speed, probably.
Yeah.
Probably. So, I don't know. I'm excited for 2014 as far as Blizzard is concerned.
Yeah, I doubt we'll see a Legacy of the Void this next year, though.
No, they just really are just like pretending like it doesn't exist. It is the freaking wizard at the end of the movie just going, "Don't look behind the curtain. Don't."
It certainly feels like that when we have David Kim and Dustin Browder working hard on Heroes of the Storm. And then just this past week, they announced that they're looking for another production head to lead a team doing a similar thing to Hearthstone, another small team building a small game.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think it could be, Kyle?
Oh, the next small thing? Who knows? If you really racked your brains and listed every single thing that happened leading up to Hearthstone, someone may have figured it out, with them taking the card game out and then moving it internally and then not talking about it for 3 years. Someone may have put that together. As for what's in the future, who knows?
I would still like Battle Pets to be able to be played on my phone.
I don't have a single Battle Pet.
I don't either, but I would play it if I could play it on my phone.
Fair enough. If I have Hearthstone next to my Battle Pet button, though, I'll tell you which one's getting pressed more.
I keep forgetting Hearthstone's going out to the phone, so never mind. As soon as that happens, I won't need it anymore. Dear God, I love Hearthstone. It's a fun game.
I know you do. Well, you do. I haven't flattered you enough on this show. And anyone listening needs to listen to your other show, because it's a very fun show.
It's a good one. Go listen to The Angry Chicken. We're enjoying it. We had an interview on the Realm Maintenance podcast this past week. It was cool.
Nice.
Ro hosts that, but we were interviewed by Remedies, who helps him with any non-WoW interview. So we were on there for The Angry Chicken. Go check that out. It's cool.
Well, and I think we can safely say that you can stay tuned to StarCast for more Heroes of the Storm information coming.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
And it sounds like over the next 2 weeks we're going to get that map out, which will show the most recent build. You know, their casted recording in-house, casted by Dustin Browder. And we'll see what the new talents are like, how things have changed, and the large pool of heroes that is available, because that's something we're still missing. They hinted at 100 times, and they're saying there's over 100, it sounds like.
Yeah. Don't forget Dustin Browder with his t-shirt tucked into his jeans.
He didn't stand up, but it certainly looked tucked in, didn't it?
There's so many Blizz developers at BlizzCon that had their t-shirts tucked into their jeans, and it was inciting very small explosions in my brain.
It was a little awkward. Yeah, you know.
Stop it, guys. Why are you still doing this?
It could be worse. It could have been produced in Korea, and then they all came out in like suits and makeup, and then you're just thinking, what's going on here?
Anyways, I think that'll do it for episode 176 and for StarCast 2013. We'll see you guys next year. When is our next episode? I don't even know. January. Oh, God, this calendar is failing me immensely. It's looking like it's going to be January 9th.
All right.
Thursday the 9th. We're going to be doing episode 177.
Right. So we'll be in the beginnings about a week after WCS is officially fired up for everyone.
Yep.
Actually, we've about 2 days since everyone's fired up. Looks like the wild cards haven't fired up in Europe at that time. We should have that new Heart of the Swarm, God, thanks, Heroes video to watch.
Yeah, we'll be neck deep in the qualifiers. It'll be damn near over by the time we do another show. So that'll be nice. We'll have some stuff to talk about. I am really stoked, dude. All right, well, pat on the backs all around, sir. Good job on another year of shows.
Good show all around.
It's been fun. Thank you, everyone, for listening. We got a donation this past week from Gene. Thank you so much for your kind words and your donation to the show. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been a blast. Every year that goes by on the show, I'm just like, damn, we're still doing the show. That's insane.
It is insane. But, you know, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a good ride, and it's been cool to watch StarCraft grow. You know, it's an interesting thing to say, because this past year has been a little rough for us. But we had our big explosion of popularity, esports. You know, I feel like StarCraft really kind of held the opening flag for a lot of esports to gain popularity online. And now we've matured, and we need to see how we're going to do in the future. And I really think WCS is going to go exquisitely this next year. It'll have its hiccups. It'll have its weird, we didn't invite so-and-so, and wait, so-and-so couldn't get a visa. And it'll have its messes, but we're stepping in the right direction. And Blizzard's supporting it well still.
I'm a selfish bastard, and all I care about is GSL, and it's looking like that's going to be just fine.
Yes, that is going to be A-okay this next year. And we're both super stoked about that. And hey, we are going to have one more show before the holidays. We're going to squeeze in another A-Move radio. So if you enjoyed any sort of Dota talk here tonight, you can certainly check out that show, because I can't stop myself.
No, you cannot. And we all play together on that show. So, check out A-Move Radio every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/AMoveTV, or just look it up on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever the hell it is you get podcasts. It's a good time. It's me and Kyle and Ben Our buddy Ben from the old show This Week in Blizz.
And while we're doing that, let me say again, you do need to check out amove.tv because that's where all Garrett's stuff goes down. That's where my stuff goes down. And it's going to be an awesome year in 2014 for that site. Yeah. I'm excited for the things we haven't announced and the things we've kind of teased at tonight.
Yep, absolutely. So very cool. Thanks again for listening. As always, StarCast is a production of amove.tv. Go bookmark that site that Kyle was just ranting about because you can see our other shows like A-Move Radio or The Angry Chicken or We're Biggest Fan. You can find out more about StarCast at amove.tv/StarCast. We record live on Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/amovetv. Our next episode will be on January 9th, 2014. Our VODs are at youtube.com/StarCast Show. If you're a YouTube user, go check that out because we're also at it. We have the Hearthstone show over there. I've been posting Hearthstone coaching videos over there. And I'm going to be finally jumping into the Reaper of Souls beta soon and doing a video about the Crusader because I haven't even seen it yet. So I'm going to kind of post my reaction to that. And
oh, yeah, you didn't play that at BlizzCon.
No, I just didn't have a chance. I was more concerned about Heroes of the Storm, and I wanted to try out the new WoW beta or WoW expansion.
Oh, he is a fun beast. I'm expecting everyone who enjoyed Barbarian in this last game to just drop him and go Crusader.
That's probably what I'm going to do because I really wanted the Paladin and he didn't come. And now I'm pretty much getting it. So there is that. Our mobile stream is now provided by Alpha Geek Radio. If you want to tune in live but you can't, say tune into Twitch and watch the video stream, you can catch the mobile stream at mobile.alphageekradio.com. Or even if you're just on a desktop, if you just go to alphageekradio.com, there's a player right there.
Yeah, and it's a lot easier on your phone than Twitch, if you've ever tried to watch anything.
What are you talking about? The Twitch app is the greatest piece of design ever.
Right?
Works.
Technology.
It always works. It never has an issue.
No.
It's really easy to use the chat, too. I love being able to chat on my phone. It's awful.
Right, and when I'm listening to live broadcasted radio shows, I really want that video taking up my bandwidth, on my phone.
Yes, indeed. So thanks to Alpha Geek Radio for that. Email us, starcastshow@gmail.com, or call the StarCast line. That number is 941-882-0281. Leave us a voice message. We'll put it on the show. We're on Twitter at The StarCast. I am at Garrett Art, and Kyle is at Kyle Ferguson. Finally, check out nomoonart.com for my graphic design portfolio. I am always available for freelance because that's how I eat. So...
Sure. Gotta eat.
There you go. Yeah. It's good. It's good to do something that you need to for money. Like a streetwalker.
We all have different jobs, don't we?
A little bit. No. I love doing graphic design. So check it out. Kyle, where can people find you?
Well, you can also find me at Biggest Fan Podcast, where this past week we recorded Korra, Biggest Fan. We've done Avatar: Last Airbender. But Korra Season 2, Brockett finally got around to it, and we discussed our highlights, our slight disappointments, but of course our excitement for the future with that show.
Awesome. Very awesome. Season 2.
And we got so confused with Water Tribe names. Oh my god, Tarlox and Unalox and Noatox and just, are you serious?
Okay, if there's an O and a K on the end of the name, congratulations, you're in the Water Tribe.
I can't believe we even...
But I'm a firebender. Doesn't matter.
I couldn't keep Korra and Katara straight even. It's a mess.
Really? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I love Avatar. Season 2 is definitely my least favorite so far, but it was still good.
Yeah. So. Well, talking about it on that show, I think I'm going to have to ride the ride again and over my Christmas break, watch all of The Last Airbender again.
Oh, it's so good. So damn good. I'm... one episode away from finishing my rewatching of Sherlock. Of course, there's only 6 episodes, but they're freaking 90 minutes. Season 3 starts on New Year's Day, and the final Matt Smith episode of Doctor Who is on Christmas. I'm going to be so sad. I'm going to be crying on Christmas.
Now, is this a real final, or is a... No, I'm not leaving Guy's final.
No, he's going to regenerate.
Okay.
He's regenerating, yeah.
So have they announced a new one?
Yeah, they announced him like 3 months ago. Peter Capaldi is going to be the next Doctor. He looks interesting. I'm not familiar with him at all, but he's an older guy. I think I'm ready for an older Doctor. So cool.
Oh, okay, yeah. Huh. I mean, I don't know him from anything, but he definitely has a doctory look about him.
Yeah. Apparently, he's very well known in Britain, and he was actually an extra in an older episode of Doctor Who, not like the original series, but
No, he was David Tennant. It was when they went back to fight like magma beasts.
yes, in the episode was called "The Fires of Pompeii." Also, what's her name that played Amy was in that episode as well before she was a regular on Doctor Who. But anyways,
look at them reusing people, crazies.
please check out our sponsors, doghousesystems.com, tweakedaudio.com, and sc2quoteoftheday.com. Our code is StarCast, and that gets you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig. And that same code will get you 30% off and free shipping on your entire order from tweakedaudio.com. Also, sc2quoteoftheday.com, they have an app on the iOS and the Android App Store now. Just search for QOTD, and you can download that on your mobile device. We thank them all for their support, especially for a whole nother year of StarCast. We thank you guys for listening. Seriously, we wouldn't do this if there was no one listening on the other end. Thank you for continuing to grab the show on the RSS feed, on the YouTube, or wherever you happen to get it. We always appreciate the fans. So we will see you all next year for StarCast 177 and beyond.
Happy holidays.